the Northeast, rebuilding the Northeast and rehabilitating the Northeast. It appears you are managing one of the most volatile aspects of the Nigerian polity today. There is a report that says that during the previous administration, that Boko Haram consumed that administration. But they are saying that if care is not taken, the politics of IDPs might consume this administration. With the report of diversion of relief materials and embezzlement, how do you find some of these stories coming from an already worsening humanitarian situation?
Well, actually, with the coming of this administration, the primary motive for establishing a presidential committee on Northeast Initiative and to have somebody in the capacity of General Tiwa Danjuma chair the organization is to mitigate on all these issues of diversion, issues of non-transparency and so on. So that has helped quite tremendously.
But the House of Representatives is still roaring, they are still shouting, they're having a loud outcry over allegations of embezzlement.
I haven't heard that.
Not exactly from the PCNI, but against NEMA. And those are supposed to be your sister agency in coordinating or in this restoration project of the Northeast.
Well, you see, you cannot discountenance efforts by other organs of government. But a sister organization, we work with NEMA, we work with the National Assembly, and we work with a lot of other units that are operating in the Northeast. I am not aware of any massive investment that you are talking about or the likes. But I can assure you that with the PCNI, we haven't had that level of allegations. And with the level of allegations placed on other organizations, we may not be privy to the information entirely.
So now people are asking the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, PCNI. We also have the National Refugee Commission. We have the National Emergency Management Agency, and all that. Isn't it even beyond duplication of role now? It looks like multiplication of roles.
All these organizations that you have spoken about have particular mandates. The mandate of the NEMA is clear. That of the Refugee Commission is also clear. What is not on ground and what PCNI is filling the gap for is the coordinating ability of all these organizations to ensure that resources are targeted, resources are not duplicated, and we make sure that the spend and the targeting of all these resources that are available, meager as they are done in a diligent and transparent manner.
Now, the allegations in NEMA now, does it affect the operation of PCNI in any way?
The allegations in NEMA do not affect the operations of PCNI in any way.
But the NEMA intervention, if NEMA is found culpable now, because we still have to leave that for the law to decide, don't you think that the impact will have accelerated some of your key mandates?
I think we should be talking more about what PCNI is doing than investigating or talking about the investigation of NEMA. I don't work for NEMA, and I work with NEMA, but I don't work for them.
Okay, now in executing your projects, now you've complained about paucity of funds. Last year, we understand that the intervention fund released was 45 billion naira, and you said that was a far cry. But we also have other international donor agencies from the United Nations, the Red Cross, donating money, and even some other philanthropical societies donating huge sums of money. So, does it have any impact in assisting the PCNI in delivering its key mandates?
You see, all the monies that PCNI spends is to fill in gaps. Gaps that are obvious in terms of food supply, in terms of developmental needs, and security community needs all over the Northeast. And this is done from the statutory budgeting that is applied to Northeast interventions.
So how much is released for this year?
Same amount, 45 billion.
45 billion.
Yes. But the thinking that international donor agencies bring in money to the PCNI or through the PCNI is false.
Yeah, because there is also a report that the Chinese government also released about $500 million for this project. So could you confirm this to us?
Well, okay. The international donor partners bring in their monies, they do their budgeting, and they do their spending. They don't spend with us or through us. What they do is that they have their own systems. What we are doing is to make sure that when they do bring these resources, that they tell us what it is and where it is that they are spending and for who, so that we'll be able to target other spends elsewhere.
So now, do you now have enough funds? Because definitely they must have blocked some financial strain. They must have reduced, the intervention of the international agencies must have reduced some financial strains in that your operations demand.
Our operations demand a colossal amount of money over the next 10 to 15 years.
Could it be faster? Because this is an emergency situation. So
it's an emergency situation.
10 years, that might not be acceptable to the kind of life and the huge level of uncertainty, plus the worsening humanitarian situation these people are subjected to. You said 45 billion there, and people are still complaining of hunger. There's a challenge of food security in the Northeast. So how are you dealing with this?
The challenge is being dealt with from the states, by us, by the federal government, and by also other donor partners. Unfortunately, insurgency in the Northeast and the destruction that has happened, there is no way you can do it faster than 10 years, assuming you are given the entire monies today, because it includes rebuilding structures, rebuilding infrastructure, rebuilding human capacity, and so on. So it is going to be a drawn-out program